Welcome back. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Julia, who recently underwent both a blepharoplasty and a mastopexy performed by the skilled hands of James Smith at Coppergate Clinic in York. In this episode, we dive deep into Julia's journey, exploring the reasons behind her decisions to undergo these procedures. We'll uncover the intricate details of the consultation process, shedding light on how decisions are made and expectations are set. From there, we'll journey alongside Julia through the nerve-wracking yet ultimately rewarding experience of the operation day, gaining insight into what it's really like to undergo surgery. But the journey doesn't end there. We'll also explore the often overlooked aspect of recovery as Julia shares first-hand account of navigating post-operative care and the physical and emotional challenges that come with it. So whether you're considering these procedures yourself or simply curious about what they entail, join us as we embark on this enlightening conversation. I hope this episode helps you gain deeper understanding of these procedures and provides valuable insight into the journey of those who undergo them. Please don't forget to rate, review and subscribe to this channel. Hello and welcome back to another podcast. Today I'm joined by Julia, who has had her surgery done with Mr. Smith at Coppergate Clinic. First of all, Julia, I would love you to explain what you had done at the clinic.
Hello. So yes, I had my upper blepharoplasty done and a Mastopexy done with Mr. Smith.
And did you have them done obviously at the same time or separately, or what happened?
Separately. My first surgery was my upper blepharoplasty, and I always knew that I wanted the Mastopexy done. I was 51 years old and had, luckily enough, had never had an operation in my life.
Wow.
I know, really good.
How have you done that? Wow.
I know, yeah, 50. I never had a general anaesthetic or an operation of any sort.
Wow. Yeah. That's very impressive to get.
It's quite.
So you must have been quite scared then, actually going through that.
I was, yes, yeah. Yeah, really nervous. So I opted for what was bothering me most was my upper eyelid. So I opted for the upper blepharoplasty done.
Can you explain what that is, just so for people that don't know?
Yeah. So I'd got droopy eyelids. Mine were literally, particularly my left side, was sat on my eyelashes. So if I didn't wear mascara, I could see my eyelid. That's how droopy it was. And
really?
It's hereditary in my family. My dad's got it really bad. So I do think it is a family trait. So, yeah, it really bothered me. I had that tired look all the time, no matter what makeup I did or, after a good night's sleep, I'd still got that really tired look about me.
So what did they do in the operation, sorry?
Yeah, so they make an incision. I had it done under local anaesthetic.
Right, wow.
Which a lot of people kind of, wow.
Oh, yeah, oh.
But for me, that was the best choice because I didn't want a general anaesthetic.
Yeah.
So they make a small incision on your upper eyelids. Everything's done, all injected. The only thing you feel is the local anaesthetic going in.
Right.
Probably 5 seconds of it stinging and then it's over and you don't feel a thing after that.
Wow. So does the surgeon talk to you throughout the process? Is it quite...
Instantly? No. So what I did like about Mr. Smith, he got me to choose a playlist when I went in. So I could choose my own music and I kind of just left it to him and we had an 80s playlist going off. He was talking to me constantly. There was a nurse with me the entire time who literally held my hand. And your eyes are closed, so you obviously can't see anything.
Yeah.
Aware of movement around me. And she kept me informed of every movement that I could hear.
Wow.
So, she'd say to me, I'm just walking to the other side, I'm fine, I've still got your hand. And I could hear her footsteps moving. So, yeah, it was so relaxed. I felt so calm. And he was talking to me the entire way through. And there was one point that I did start to feel a little bit nervous. I thought, you're aware of somebody's hands around your face.
Yeah.
And the nurse could pick up on that and she'd say, right, come on, what Netflix are we going to watch when we get home? And
wow, okay.
They literally pick up on everything.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
And so once you'd had that procedure done, did you then think, right, I'm ready and want to have some more done? How did the next step work?
Yeah, I mean, the recovery went well. And I think it was on one of my checkup consultations with Mr. Smith, I spoke to him and I said, I am interested in the Mastopexy. I certainly wanted a breast reduction and an uplift. So we kind of spoke about those things. And he said, come in and have a chat and let's see where we go from there. So I made another appointment for a consultation just about the Mastopexy.
Okay, and so when you went for the consultation, did you talk about all the different operations you could have had with your boobs? Did he go through all the things?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we spoke about my breasts were very different in sizes, which I know a lot of people's are, but mine were quite significant.
Interesting.
So we talked about, breast reduction, an uplift, and then did I want implants in or not?
Yeah.
On one of the consultations, I was quite adamant that I did want implants because I thought if
Yeah.
I'm going to go through all of this, I might as well have some really good breasts at the end of it. And I be up there and I don't want them to move around, or if I'm laid sunbathing, I don't want them to be down by my side, which they normally are.
Yeah.
And we spoke at length about this, and when Mr. Smith examined me, my breast tissue was really good, and he said, you don't need implants at all. We've got the good breast tissue. By the time we've done an uplift and a reduction, you will have that lift.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm so pleased he did convince me not to go down that route.
Are you? Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely. Wow. And so how many sizes did you go down? What was the process?
So it was a 36G in some bras, and I think I was kind of bordering on a double G. And I went down to a 34D stroke double D.
That's amazing.
But it's my dress size more than anything that went down. I went from wearing a 16 stroke 18, which is an extra large,
yes,
to a 12 and a medium.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So, and do you have lots of reasons as to why you wanted to have this? Is this the breast surgery? I mean, has it been going on for a long time, or is it pre-kids? Like, I know from my experience, my boobs, since having children, are on the floor, and I really want them uplifted. So I feel like this is really going to benefit me to learn about this whole process.
Yeah, so certainly exactly the same since having my daughter. Mine just went down. And then I think years of yo-yo dieting, being a lot larger,
Yeah.
smaller.
Yes, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, that certainly took its toll on my breast shape and size. And then at a point, probably mid-40s, that no matter what weight I was, the breast size never changed. So I could lose all my weight and they would still stay the same.
Wow.
And then as the aging process, mid to late 40s and then touching 50, they just really started to sag. And I was desperately unhappy with them. Clothes that I wear just did not look right at all. And I looked a lot larger than what my body shape.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. I notice that definitely if I lose weight, I seem to lose it off my boobs, and then my back doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah.
I find it, clothes fit better. All those sorts of things really affect your boobs. So when you started to look for surgeons and where you wanted to go, how did you go about the process? What did you do?
Yeah, so my daughter's in the beauty industry, so we talk a lot to clients that come to her beauty salon about different surgeons and where they've been and everything. I've had experience of friends that have gone out to Turkey, so I did look down that route.
Yeah.
But for me, that I quickly closed that door. I didn't like the process that they do, the pressure, pay deposits, send photographs over WhatsApp, and it just didn't feel...
No, that doesn't sound right, does it? No.
Feel comfortable. I did go to another surgeon in Manchester, but again, I go a lot with gut feeling, and I didn't get a good gut feeling with that one. So yeah, I researched lots on the internet.
Yeah.
Read lots of blogs, and I think I took about a year to decide on to go to Coppergate.
That's amazing. That's really, really, you did your research then.
Yeah, I did lots of research and then lots of pondering, thinking about it, let the dust settle a little bit and revisit it again a month later, and making sure it's something that I absolutely wanted. because,
Yeah.
it's not a small surgery, it's a big surgery.
Yeah.
And the timing had to be right for me. I run my own business. I run a boutique with my daughter, and we had to get the timing just right so
That's really interesting.
I could recover.
Yeah, we'll talk about the recovery, but before we do that, can you take us through the operation day? Obviously, we talked a bit about the blepharoplasty, but can we talk about the mastopexy? What actually happened on the day when you arrived at the clinic?
Yeah, so the weeks leading up to it, you're given lots of information. You have to have the gel that you shower in for a couple of days before.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know that. So
yeah,
they give you a gel, or you?
yeah. I can't remember what it's for now. It's for the one of the bacteria that you can have on your body.
Okay, yes,
So
yeah,
I think it was for 2 days before I had to wash my hair and my body in this shower.
right, okay,
And then obviously nil by men. And then the morning, which made me laugh, before I set off, I had to take 2 paracetamols. And I thought, I'm having breast surgery as if 2 paracetamols is.
yeah, that is a bit funny, isn't it? But I
Yeah,
suppose, yeah,
yeah,
you have to
everything in
do
your
that.
system.
Yes,
So yeah, when I arrived, obviously I was nervous. It was my first general
yeah,
anaesthetic. Mr. Smith knew all about this and he knew how nervous I was. I also have this huge phobia of being sick.
gosh,
Yeah, which I'd mentioned to him several times, please don't let me be sick.
right,
And he's saying, we will give you all the right medication. You won't be sick. We'll look after you.
yes,
We're used to this. I just felt from the minute I walked in the doors at Coppergate that I was just relaxed. And it was kind of, to them, it was normal life and day-to-day life.
yes.
They were very relaxed about it. And I was walking into their world and they kind of got it. They knew
That's
what.
amazing.
Yeah,
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 it feels, I don't know how to describe it in there, but it just feels so like calming and nice. I think it's the colours and the fact it doesn't look like a normal hospital, I think is a massive deal. You normally walk into hospital and you think, as soon as I walk in, I want to leave. It's
yeah. I'm
horrible.
walking into
Whereas,
hospital.
yeah,
There,
whereas there, I'm like, can I stay? It's so
yeah,
nice. Yeah,
yeah. It
yeah,
is. It's just like a lovely, luxurious beauty salon.
yes,
And I kind of felt like I was taken under everybody's wings when you're there. They all
great.
wrap their arms around you and they just look after you and
Yeah, they're a
they
nice
get it.
team.
They know that you're nervous and yeah.
Yes.
But also my husband came with me and they look after him as well. So it's
Oh, that's so nice.
a whole
Yeah.
package that you get.
Yeah. So when you got there, then what did you do? I
Yeah.
mean,
So I went down to the a consultation room where Mr. Smith came, and again we just chit chatted, and I think that's part of the relaxation process that they relax your mind. A nurse came in and measured me for stockings, and I'd got a dressing gown and slippers. And then quickly the anaesthetist comes in and he does all of his checks on you, and kind of everything then snowballed. You don't have time to sit around and think, what on earth am I doing? Why am
anyway,
I here? Yeah,
yeah. God, that's good.
yeah.
And so then you go straight down to theatre?
Yeah, so the theatre's in Coppergate upstairs. So that's when I said goodbye to my husband. And I think the nurse that was with me, she could see it in my voice that I was,
Hey.
yeah. And she's saying to Paul, it's fine, we'll take good care of her. They took his numbers and we'll message us the minute she comes out of theatre. And then they relax you, the nurses, they're chatting away to you. And they've just got that lovely art about them, how to relax you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you go upstairs. Again, there's another consult. Well, I think it's the recovery room that you go in. And you're only in there a few minutes. And then I walked down into theatre and I thought that felt bizarre, opening
Yeah.
the doors and walking in. But again, it's so lovely and calm. And
Yeah.
you walk through those operating theatre doors, it's a sea of faces. But I think there was at least 2 nurses that came up and got my hand and you're fine.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is amazing. And so then you're obviously out of it. So you obviously didn't see anything till you woke up in recovery.
No, but what I also liked as well is that when you go into the theatre, as much as you're aware it's a theatre, there's a pillow, which I presume they take away when you've gone to sleep.
Yes.
So everything is quite normal when you're in there.
Yeah.
And I quite liked that. I think there was a kind of a blanket over me as well. And, obviously all that kind of thing gets taken away.
Yes.
For you to go to sleep, it is all very nice and calm.
Calm. That's really nice. And so then obviously you wake up in the recovery room.
Yes. Yeah.
And how did you feel? Were you in pain already, or did it take a
No,
while for that to kick in?
no, absolutely no pain whatsoever. And I often say to people, I've had Botox and fillers in my face, and I think I went through more having fillers than the pain.
Really? Wow. Wow.
I was amazed at how little pain I was in. So you come round and the nurse is talking to you. A funny story, I was actually having a dream that I was in a coffee shop ordering a coffee with my daughter. And I still picture this coffee shop now. And I said to the nurse, oh, I thought I was ordering a coffee. And she says, no, you're in Coppergate. You've had your surgery. And I said, no, that's next week. Well, I can get you a coffee in a bit, but
Well,
you have
that's
had your
hilarious.
surgery.
Wow. And then how long was it before you could go home?
So you're in there a good few hours, probably a good 2 or 3 hours, I think.
Okay.
Kind of slips by.
Yes. Yeah.
The nurse is with you all the time and she's doing all of her checks. So it's a recovery room and you've got all the monitors on. The anaesthetist came back and talked to me. And then Mr. Smith came back a couple of times just to check on me. I think I'd got one area that was bleeding a little bit, and he came to check on that, and that was fine. That.
So the scars are underneath your breast.
Yes, yeah. So all the way underneath, I think they call it scar. So all the way underneath, and then up to where the areola is, and then around there.
So the whole breast has, for people that don't understand, the whole breast has literally been lifted up.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. It
Yeah.
must feel like amazing. I'm desperate to have mine done.
Yes, yeah.
Just want to feel that weight gone. It's so much. It's so heavy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I know when you come round as well, I didn't have the surgical bra on. They put that on afterwards. And they said, oh, do you want to have a little look? And I kind of looked down and I thought, my word, it's taken too much. There's just nothing there. All gone, because I was used to the huge droop.
It must be such a difference. Oh my
Such
gosh.
a difference, yeah. But literally within a few days, you kind of think, actually, no, I like this.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen you since. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Your figure looks wow. I feel, even for me, when I get my hair cut, the weight is so much. I can't imagine what it's like to have the weight taken off your breast. It must be
absolutely. It is amazing. It really.
Yeah, no, that's really good. So then obviously you went home and then how long did it take your sort of recovery process? When could you go to work? And
yeah, so I had the best part of 4 weeks off work. I think
wow.
I'd already planned on this 4 weeks period. I was going to take a couple of weeks off and decide how it went, but Molly had cleared the diary for me to have the 4 weeks off work.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first couple of days, in fact, the first 2 or 3 days, I never felt really any pain. I remember waking up in the night. My daughter had done a chart for all the different meds that I needed at different times. And I know the nurse said, don't ever let any of the meds run out. Don't be brave and think I'll push the timings. Just take them when you should take them. And I think that's a good bit of advice. So no, I sat on the sofa that night, watched TV with the rest of the family. Had an early night. I slept upright for about 6 weeks. I normally sleep on one pillow and I made sure I slept on two.
Right. Was that recommended or you just thought you should do that?
Yeah, it was recommended.
Okay.
And I also, I didn't want to lay on my side. I felt it was too tender to lay on the side. Okay. So I laid on my back.
Yeah. So do you think you could have gone back to work a bit earlier, or were you pleased that you had those 4 weeks? Should people plan to have that, do you think?
No, I think I could have gone back earlier.
Yeah.
But I think because the opportunity was there, the decks.
Yeah, and it was you planned it. Yeah, that was good. I'm just wondering, for other people who think, oh my gosh, I've got to take a month off work, or
no. I think certainly after 2 weeks, I was fine to go back.
That's amazing that it didn't take. And so now, do you see the scar? Can you see anything?
No, I mean, the scars are tiny little white lines. The faintest lines, I think around the areola, you would notice the white lines, but certainly the anchor going down and round, you would not see that at all.
Okay, that's amazing.
But yeah, the thinnest white line.
So have you been moisturising the scars or anything like that?
Yes, so I bought some cream online for, particularly for breast surgery. I can't remember what they called it. Some deep moisturising cream.
Yeah.
I literally, once the stitches had dissolved, I moisturised it.
So the stitches were dissolved. You didn't have to go back in and see him.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
So I did have a couple of follow-up consultations.
Yeah.
You know, that is within the package that you go back 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And even then, I think if I'd have needed to go back a 4th or 5th time afterwards, that was absolutely fine.
Yes.
But no, the stitches dissolve on their own.
That's amazing. And the same with your eyes as well? Or what happened with your eyes?
So my eyes, I had a Zoom call the week, I think it was a week after us. Yeah, about 7 days after. And my daughter actually took the stitches out.
Wow.
With Mr. Smith, you know, telling her.
They're telling her what to do. That's amazing.
She's a beautician. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
But literally didn't feel a thing. You know, it's one long stitch. So you clip the end and pull and it all comes out.
Oh, but that's amazing. And with the breast surgery, there was literally, it just dissolved. That was it. Didn't...
Yeah.
Wow.
I think on my checkup appointment, there was one little area that had, almost as if it was a knot of a stitch that hadn't quite dissolved. And Mr. Smith looked at it and he said, no, it's fine. It will just naturally dissolve on its own.
So how long did you have to wear the special bra that they give you?
I wore that for, I think after the stitches had all come out, I think probably about 8 weeks you wear, it's advised to wear that for. I wore mine for a long time. Probably a good 12 weeks I wore them.
Right.
Just because I wanted to give them the best recovery period.
Yeah.
And then I bought soft, non-wired bras after that.
Is that what you, now do you wear that?
No, so literally last weekend I went and bought my first underwire bra.
Wow.
And it was a year in February ago.
Was it a year? Wow. Oh, that's gone so quickly.
It has. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realise. Wow.
Yeah.
So could you have worn underwire before that, or you just wanted to keep soft?
Yeah. Mr. Smith said straight away, I think probably after, I think they advised 6 months without the underwire. I'm sure 6 months. But he said it's when you feel comfortable with the scars.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't really need an underwire bra because
I need like underwire full, you know. Yeah. So have you seen a before photo compared to now?
Yeah.
That must be
file on my phone of yeah. It's a secret file that's quite hidden because, you know, glancing through your photograph, you don't want to just accidentally come across your breasts.
Yeah, no.
And I do look back and I think, my word, they really were desperate for doing, and what a change.
So how has it made you feel, like as a person, like having these two things done? Like, has it given you more confidence? What has it done?
Yeah, and I don't say this lightly, but completely life-changing.
Wow.
Certainly the breast surgery, the Mastopexy, that is life-changing beyond recognition. It's my eyelids, I did that for myself. You know, people used to say, oh, they're not too bad, they're fine. They did need doing. And when I look back on photographs before I had it done, I have got more confidence. You know, I do own a boutique and I am in
Yeah, your face is the boutique, yes.
So we take a lot of photographs. So I am overcritical of myself. I do watch back on the lives that we do and the photographs and things. But the breast surgery was unbelievable, life-changing.
And so do you think all your family and friends, did they know you were doing it? Did they know afterwards, or have they just seen that you're so much more confident now and they're thinking, what's happened?
Yeah, so my family, my mum and dad really didn't want me to have it done, and obviously having this as my first ever surgery.
Yes.
The eyes, they understood and they was like, yeah, that's fine. And I think they didn't kind of think of it as an operation because I was having it under local anaesthetic.
Yeah.
The breast surgery, I told them the weekend before because I knew how upset they would be.
Yeah.
And I said to my mum, I did show my mum a before photograph of me without a bra.
Yes.
And then I got her to look at them afterwards and she went, I get it. I can't
yeah.
why you had it done.
Yeah. I mean, I think when you see that difference, you must notice. Your friends must see that how confident you are now.
The biggest thing that people will say to me now is how much weight I've lost, and I've not. My weight is the same as what it was before, more or less.
Wow.
But people think that I've lost 2 or 3 stone.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And I think it's possible, you know, that the clothes had to be so much bigger
Yeah.
for the shape of my breast, and then they just hang differently.
Yeah.
When
It
you've got
really
that
does.
shape, they do hang so different.
Yeah, no, that's amazing that it's made such a difference to you. Do you think you would have anything else done, maybe?
Do you know I would? I always say never.
Yeah.
You know, my husband, bless him, always says I don't need anything doing, but you know, if the time and the money and everything else was right and everything fell into line, I would have a tummy tuck.
Would you? I'd love that too. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As women, we've got a list, haven't we? We all
Yeah.
love her. But my husband, he's desperate for his eyes doing now.
Great. Wow.
So I think that's on the cards within the next 18 months. He wants his doing.
I really noticed when people, like you described, that you having with lots of overhang skin and then having it taken up, it makes such a difference
Yeah.
to
My
the
daughter,
whole of their face.
absolutely. My daughter's a makeup artist and often would do my makeup for events. And she had to draw on where she thought the crease should be.
Yeah.
Which was, you know, it was kind of obvious so that it fell correctly.
Yes. Yeah, that's very hard.
Your eyes opened up.
She must have noticed then this difference now doing your makeup.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a massive difference.
Well, that's really good.
Yeah.
I think I've nearly answered my questions. Let me have a quick little look. I have written them down here. There's so much that I could possibly go on and ask you. Is there anything else that we were going to add? I think that was probably it, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
I feel like we might have to come back and do a part 2 when you do something else.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for giving us such a great insight.
Honestly,
I'm hoping this will help other people when they're starting to do their research, what to do and where to look. So thank you so much for sharing it.
Yeah, the only advice is do the research. You know, there's horrendous horror stories out there and we all read them online.
Yes.
And you've got to remember that this is your body, that you know, and you're putting it into somebody's hands. So do your research, make sure that you know what you're doing and whether the operation's for you. You know, it has to be right. It's not something to be taken lightly.
No. And I mean, and I was going to say about the aftercare there, you really did receive good aftercare, didn't you, following up?
Phenomenal. So, what I liked about Coppergate is from the very first consultation, you have a 2 weeks cooling off period. So nothing can be done within that first 2 weeks. You go away and you think about it. And then you come back and you can either book it then after the 2 weeks. I think I had maybe 3 or 4 consultations with Mr. Smith with my Mastopexy before I actually said, yeah, okay, I'll do it. You know, I'd got a list of questions, then I thought of some more.
Yeah, that's really good.
But the aftercare is phenomenal, I think, at Coppergate. I think that is what sets it apart from everywhere else.
That's really good. Literally
the next day you get a phone call from somebody at Coppergate checking in, making sure that everything's okay. Have you got any questions? You're given a 24-hour mobile number that you can ring at any time if you've got any questions at all. And then I think it was 2 or 3 days later, I had another check-in with somebody rang me from there, making sure I was okay. Was I okay with my medication? Was everything...
That's great. Yeah, amazing.
So you know that you've got somebody at the end of the phone.
That's really good.
The consultations that you have after, it's not just one consultation, then off you go.
Yeah, it's the real follow-up, afterwards.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've had a really positive...
Yes, I can't recommend it enough.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. Thank you so much for giving up your time and coming on here. And I really hope this really inspires other people to make that next step.
Yeah, honestly, my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.